everybody, welcome to Can We Say It? I'm Han.
Hi everyone, I'm Beck.
Hey, how
Welcome.
you going?
I'm not
This is the podcast where we say it all. We're just a couple of besties who like to talk about what's happening in our
in our
lives. And
world.
yeah, today we're sort of, well, I've titled the episode, Beck, you might have seen, it's starvation. I'm hungry.
It's I'm hungry and I'm hangry. I thought it was quite fitting because today I know we usually do our Milo. We have a Milo and a chat, but I actually made a peppermint tea for
I've
our
been
little
craving one
chat.
of those all day, but I just didn't. I've been sort of at work, and then I was like, I'm not having I won't make a hot drink. I took a little bit of a handful of raw almonds,
And called it a
um,
day. Well, there we go.
and
That's
just,
also quite healthy. It's quite fitting for this
well, I'm
episode of
starving.
starvation.
We're talking about diets and fasting and weight loss and body image and all of that. We're just doing it in like one episode because we've heard a lot of our friends doing like um sort of those intermittent fasting diets, but we've been dieting since we were teenagers, so we just wanted to talk about all the different ones and
Yeah.
basically our
What's
experiences.
Yeah, exactly. And also what's I guess popular now. I feel like there's a
Yeah.
two really popular diets now, but I feel like they've also been around for a long time at the same time.
Yeah,
Um,
they've actually been around for years. It's just they're coming more they're sort of coming to the forefront more. Maybe they've worked for a number of people. Look, I feel like it's the perfect time to talk about it because I had a terrible body image day yesterday. Like I had a terrible yeah body image day and eating day. I'm an emotional eater for sure.
yeah, I feel like I used to be. I feel like now, I don't know. I think I was saying this to you, and I hate it because I'm usually like a foodie. I love food, healthy foods, all kinds of foods, but like now I'm just eating to like when I'm starving and I just eat whatever's around me, and it's not always good stuff, so that's not good.
You just
Um,
don't have time. You're just
yeah,
grabbing what you can for
yeah,
sustenance.
who has time to like we my husband and I used to always like spend a good amount of time in the kitchen and cooking and loved making all different kinds of recipes, and now it's just like who has time? I barely get time for lunch, unfortunately. It's like what's close by, what's in the fridge, or like what packet of chips could we open? So,
Yeah,
but
but you
any
are a new
time.
mum. You are,
Yeah.
and you're not in your own kitchen.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm
You're
not. But even
you're
even
sharing
when
kitchen
we
with
yeah,
family,
I'm
so
with
that's
family
tricky
right
too.
now. But even when we were with the newborn, it was like wake up, make something within 30 minutes, make a big batch of it, and at least it will last for a couple of days or so because yeah, there's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I feel like you and I grew up in the ages of do not eat carbs or like Atkins. Like that was our
Yes, that was
when
our
we grew
first.
up.
I think that was our first taste of dieting. It was all
Mhm.
about Atkins,
It
no
was.
carbs.
It was a
No
no
carbs was
carbs.
that was it.
That was yeah, it was like forbid you eat have bread or pasta or rice or and I it's weird.
It worked, Beck. It worked.
But didn't Atkins die? Like it wasn't really I didn't think it was the best thing. They didn't go into depth about things. Like now I feel like it's more clean eating and healthy eating as opposed to don't eat carbs. Like there's good carbs,
Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
carbs that are good for you that you should eat. There are
Yeah.
fats that are bad for you that you shouldn't eat. Like I feel like just don't eat carbs but eat everything else is quite broad.
There's just so much to it. Like I don't even know where to start. Like it's
I
so
know.
depressing when I do start thinking about it all. Um just in that way of like there's so many different types of diets.
So
Uh
many.
and 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 yeah, one thing does work, especially when we were younger. If I didn't eat carbs for a week, I'd drop a whole size.
Right, but that's also because we were younger and we had, like, better
Faster
metabolism.
metabolisms.
Yeah, so I feel like I don't know, for me, when I hit, like, 26, 27, everything just really slowed down. I'm not saying I'm
I was
50,
still no, I
but
was still good then. I
yeah,
exercised and I think that was actually my best time was
was
26
that
was I
time.
was at my fittest and I feel like I was at my best. Um, obviously, rearing children or pregnancy and labor does impact, like
Mhm.
in terms
Oh, for
of
sure.
skin,
Changes your
just
whole body.
skin, body shape, the works, like everything around your belly, like well, yeah, stretch marks. Forget anyone. I had stretch marks before I had kids, but all of that as well. And I've, to be honest, like I've gone through the yo-yos of it all. Like I when I was in year, I think when we were 15, I don't know about I think you were also, we were at, I feel like I was like huge at
Huge, yeah,
15. There was
definitely.
like all these
Basically
hormones going
blowing up.
around and
Yeah,
I felt like someone was just blowing me up like a balloon.
yeah.
I felt very
Oh,
bloated and gross.
absolutely.
My mom actually put me into a swim club to get me moving.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was definitely, I think it was a mix of hormones and just everything. They definitely went through a stage like that, and definitely went through stages of obsessive, like you would call it skeletal, like we've said before,
We just wanted to be
times.
skeletal. Yeah, like
Skeletal.
skeletons.
But do you
Yeah.
feel now? Because this is how I feel now. Yes, I wanna look my best, but I wanna, like, it's more so for health for me, for health to be
For health,
healthy, to
inner
be
health.
clean
Yeah.
inside, like, I want to be healthy, I wanna look good, make my like, have good skin. It's not necessarily weight, it's I want to be like, to eat clean for health,
Yes, I
good
agree that
health.
I don't wanna be skeletal anymore. I very much try not to go by the scales don't really mean a
No.
lot to me personally because I could weigh a certain amount and think, geez, that's heavy, but I'm actually fitting better into clothes and dropping sizes because muscle can sometimes exceed. And I'm one of these weird people that when I start to gain muscle and look good, my weight goes up on the scales,
Well, yeah,
which
well, that's 'cause
happens. It
muscle
does
weighs more than,
happen.
yeah, fat.
And yes, I agree. I think we should like it's not important to me to be like a skeleton.
No.
I want to be like the best version of myself that I feel good, but what I put in my mouth it almost feels like never before even more pressure about what I eat. And I have always had a problem with portions and I
Yeah,
like
me
sweets
too.
and I like salty. I like everything that is bad. And
Yeah,
that's why I
'cause
said it's
the bad is
depressing because
good.
what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to like just not enjoy your life at all?
No, and I don't think that's I don't think that's, I think what they're doing now, and I guess this ties in with other episodes we've had, like, there's a lot of healthy, good tasting food now. Like, I'm addicted to this vegan, not that there's sugar in it, which I'll get into later, but, like, this vegan chocolate I'm obsessed with. I am actually enjoying it more than, like, milk, dairy,
It
chocolate,
is,
like,
yeah, it's great.
there's
Yeah, there
there's
are.
healthy options that taste really good now, whereas
That's
maybe 10
true.
years ago, we didn't have any of that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I like all those carob things and I do like vegan chocolate. I like all of that stuff. But there's just sometimes when you just want that old fashioned packet of thins or
Totally.
crisps or
But you should allow yourself to have that every now and then, because you're right, like,
yeah.
you've gotta live life and enjoy, and if that you enjoy something like that, it's okay. Like, I don't think being obsessive over anything helps. Actually, I remember when I was obsessive over weight and dieting, that it didn't work at all. It was like, I don't know, I wasn't losing weight, nothing was even happening because I was so obsessed over it.
When you say obsessed, like what were you
I
doing?
was just, like, writing what I'm gonna eat and how much I should eat and what I'm gonna do, and
Wow.
just calculating everything,
It didn't
where
work?
no, it didn't. I feel like I either put on weight or my weight was at a standstill.
So okay, so I've been yo-yoing up and down for years. I can do when I was and backtracking. I was always obsessed and My dad actually said to me once, because as a teenager I did yo-yo a lot. I was very like I was never skinny. I was like I'm really tall, and not really, like, not giant tall, but I'm tall, and I've always been, especially as a teen, before I was like before the ages of 17 or 18, I had a lot of baby fat, and I was like really solid, like not, do you know what I mean? Like I was a size 14 maybe at my
Really?
heaviest, maybe, yeah,
I don't
14,
even feel
never a
like
16, but like, yeah, just like just, kind of curvy, like big, like,
not super thin or anything.
no,
Yeah.
and yeah, he told me once, like, I was like, "Oh, I really just want to lose this weight or whatever." He's like, "Starvation is the answer."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's not a great thing to tell a 16-year-old or
No,
whatever, or a 15-year-old.
not at all.
And I'm yes, and my mum never ever bought any bad like chocolates, chips. We never were allowed
I
to
know she
have
was
any.
super healthy.
So kind of maybe screwed me up now, because as an adult, if it is there, I'm like gorging it. So like
Yeah.
I can be I'm a binger, and then the next day I'll like just drink water and juice. Like it's
Yeah, like, it's
as in
that's about
I'll
like,
just
that's how it is.
juicing. I'm not like that anymore. I'm much more balanced. But occasionally, if I'm, yeah, unconsciously stressed, or like you say, timing, if time is an issue, it is easy to grab something that's
That's
packeted. But I
yeah.
do still have a combination of fresh fruit and vegetables. And you know what? Doing experiments on myself, like
Yeah, I
I,
used to do
what
that.
do I, yeah, like I eat and then I see what happens.
I mean,
Because
I just realized having this conversation, I didn't eat for 12 days.
what? Oh,
Yeah,
what?
I remember I did that lemon
Oh, the
drink,
cayenne
the
pepper
cayenne
thing.
pepper thing.
Oh,
I'm
you
like, "I
were on
can't
all
believe I
this. You were on the
actually
most
did that."
psychotic ones.
I actually did that. I just remembered I did that. I was trying to think, "Oh, I
And
haven't done anything crazy." I remember the first 3 days I didn't see anything, and um, then slowly after day 3, I think I started losing weight. It was tough. I actually wanted to do it a second time around, and after the first day, I was like, "No, I actually can't do this." But I it was so funny. I remember walking down, like, Chatswood Mall, and someone came up to me trying to obviously, like, have me sponsor a child in Africa or something, and was like, "How long could you do without eating?" And I said, "Actually, I haven't eaten in 8 days at the time." No, and then we got into a whole conversation. But
it's
I
so weird
did
because you are like the tiny, you're like my tiniest petite, most petite friend,
no.
like, and
Yeah,
you were doing that stuff.
I did that. It did work, but I will say, and this is where
It did
when we
work. Of course it
it
did.
worked, but the minute I ate something, like a salad even, the minute I even had sushi, it all went back on.
Of
Like,
course. And this,
it's
yeah,
this
this is what you have to kind of get, you've got to get past the scales, and I'm
totally.
it's very psychological, isn't it? And I'm doing, I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It was only like $1. And so I was like, "Oh, I'm going to try this." It's something called Noom.
Yes, okay, so, yeah, what's for, like, now where we're at, what do you yeah, Noom, I'm interested in
Yeah, it's
Noom.
an app. And so and you log your meals,
Mhm.
and it separates them into categories with,
This is
it's not, it's
this is
got
like the, calorie
it's
there's another app that I used to use, it was really now I've
My
forgotten what it's
Fitness
yeah,
Pal.
My Fitness Pal.
Yeah,
Is it
but
like
what it is monitoring and counting your calories, but it's separating all everything you eat into different food groups,
mhm.
and what you should intake based on your personal data, like
Right.
age, weight, and it, the difference is it makes you log your weight. You have to weigh in every single day.
Wow.
And what it's shown me is, by weighing in every day, you really see how things like water and salt affect you, because you could weigh, I lost like a kilo and a half or something, and then a couple days later I was like another 2 kilos more. So it's like this, it proves to you that the scales are meaningless,
Mhm.
and it proves to you that a lack of water or an increase of sodium in your diet makes you actually, yes, retain water
Water.
and weigh more. and you fluctuate day to day. Every day it's different. It's quite so
How
it
interesting.
and then it gives you all these tips psychologically about what you're eating. And I've been pretty good this first. I think I'm on my second week now. I haven't seen any difference. I'm just like I have not lost anything, but I have seen fluctuations.
Mhm.
And like I said, yesterday was a really tough day. I don't know why. I just get into this hole and like I can eat. Like I can just eat.
Yeah, well, we all
Like,
have I feel like we all I mean, I do. I have my days, which is yeah, like the other a couple days ago, I just felt like I ate so much. I felt sick, like I could still feel my meal the next day. It was awful, and I was just
oh,
like, "Okay, I feel like I wanna cut out sugar again because I did when I attempted to do Whole30, and I mean, it was more for meat eating people, and I was vegetarian at the time, but I did try to stick to the cutting out of sugar, um,
mhm.
and it makes me wanna
I'm not, I've tried it. I tried that and I don't think that's, I feel like those ones, like the Whole 30 and keto and all that, it's not
oh,
sustainable in the
keto is
long,
no, it's not just
but
keto
it's
is
good for short temporary bursts to get you into the act
exactly.
of cutting sugar back.
Yes, I agree, and that's why I kept up with the cutting of the sugar, but I didn't do, like I didn't do a Whole30 thing, I just kind of stuck with the let me cut out sugar and then cut down sugar, but I'm not a fan of keto, isn't so keto is a high fat I know it's low carb and
And
stuff, but
meat.
yeah, it's lots of meat, it's lots of high fat is not good for you.
No,
So
really, I mean, I think for some people, I think everyone's body is really different. Some people do well with a lot of meat. Like I know I need meat.
yeah,
My
but do
body
you need,
works well
this
with
like,
some
some meat is
meats.
really fatty, so lean meat,
Yeah.
yes.
So like yeah, that's right. But some people need, I don't know. I think for some people it does, their body type or their blood type or whatever it is, it really responds well to fatty,
Hmm.
like fatty meats and oil, like natural oil, fatty oils. And but you have to
Maybe.
it's like this weird experiment you have to do on yourself. I think I tried it for a weird it's one of those things I always try and I'm like, "Oh, this is not sustainable." Also, like, this is gonna clog my arteries,
That's how I feel, like, I
especially
get
because high
paleo.
cholesterol is an issue.
Yeah. Well, it should be for a lot of people, but that's where I know paleo is still quite popular as well, and I think I prefer paleo and I understand it better because it's more lean. It's lean meats,
Yeah.
it's like that hunting and gathering,
Yeah,
um
which I believe is, or I get that one too, but I think you have to be careful with ch too many things that are, like, all those nuts.
yeah,
Like,
nuts aren't yeah,
nuts and
a little
seeds, you shouldn't
handful,
have
yeah.
too many of them.
Yeah,
It's actually
agree.
really bad.
Yep.
It can
I
actually,
don't have a lot of
rupture your appendix.
oh gosh. Yeah, see, I mean, I think anything too much of anything is not good. Like even fish, too much fish. Like there's high mercury
Mercury.
levels in fish, and I don't even have a lot of fish anymore. Like I do, but I just don't have it as often as I used to. Um,
What?
fish.
Oh.
Just because there's wild caught fish, there's farm raised, there's so many different types if you want to really get down into it. So
I think it's important to have fish, some sort of fish, or take fish oil because
oh, for sure, you do at least
you need
once
that
a week.
omega in your
Or
brain.
twice. Yeah, once or
Yeah.
twice a week, I try and have it. I just don't have it, like, overly I think maybe because when I was pregnant, I could only have 2 servings or 1 or 2 servings a week.
But mainly, salmon doesn't have too much
No,
mercury in it. I
salmon's
think it's
really
just
good.
tuna and white meat and white fish, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Certain fish are not good. I feel like what we were, interested in chatting in regards to dieting and fasting is intermittent fasting, which just seems to be quite popular as of late or in the last
More
little
popular lately.
while lately. And I feel like I guess there's that 16 to 8 method, um, where it involves, I guess, fasting every day for 14 to 16 hours, restricting your, daily eating window to like an 8 to 10 hours, and then you're fasting the rest of the time.
So I've unintentionally been doing this for years, like since I was like in my 20s and 30s. Like I
Skipping
would,
breakfast or
yep,
yeah,
and
so
not
did
eating till
I.
12 o'clock. Yeah.
I think I did that as well because I wasn't huge on breakfast, but I don't know if I completely did that because I probably did snack after dinner or something.
Here's the problem. You could, if if not, if unchecked, or if you have psychological issues like me, you could accidentally eat too much in the window that you have,
Mm, yeah.
right? Which is not like you're eating everything you can
Yeah,
in
it's
that
like
window.
countdown, go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, see, I'm interested to, finding out a little bit. I mean, I kind of know the the facts about the intermittent fasting, but I'm interested to delving in a little bit more, and we'll have a guest on later on who's, currently doing intermittent fasting, and we have some questions for him. But I feel like you said, there's different variations of this intermittent fasting.
Yeah, the 20, like you can okay, you know what's really popular with celebs now, I've heard? They fast for 24 hours,
That's
like once or twice a
a
week.
week. Yeah, I think some people do have been doing that. For
It's
me,
just
I'm
not
like,
worth it.
no, doesn't that slow down your metabolism?
That's what I think. That's what happens to me.
Eating?
If I don't eat, my body
Yeah.
goes into shock. And maybe I have been shocking it too much over the years because of all my dieting. So it's got that memory in it, like sugar. She's not eating again. We better like hoard all the
Oh,
fat.
yeah.
And then yeah, and we better slow down her metabolism. So and then when she starts eating again, they're just gonna like like put on
Yeah,
more
oh,
than
there's
when you
the food, let's
started.
hold it again. Yes, but I do know
Exactly.
that it is working for a few people that have been been doing
Okay,
this.
well, I have I have like I have some points about it that maybe yeah might factor in there. And then wait, then there's also 5-2, which you consume only 5 to 600 calories on 2 non-consecutive days of the week and then eat normally on the other 5 days. So it's like 5 to 2.
Yes, I heard about this. I think a few years ago I had someone that was doing that diet, and again, it worked for them. I have heard about this diet
I think that one I think that one might be help. I think that one might actually be good.
because you're still consuming some calories on 2 of
Uh-huh.
the days.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
hard to stick under
Oh.
5 to 6. It's hard to stick to 5 or 600.
Oh, yeah, I would say it would be for
And you know what? You've got to give yourself some positive reinforcement. Like, I put on 30 kilos when that second pregnancy.
right. Yep, you were saying
I had 30 kilos to lose. Now, 10 of them went
quickly, right?
straight after because of the actual birth and water and all that crap that's in you.
Mhm.
That all went. So 10 went. And then it was and then everything was I had to do on my own.
But did you
And I
lose
went
weight
back
from
to
breastfeeding? Because I guess a lot of women do,
that
or was it
that got
temporary?
breastfeeding got it down another maybe 5, but I don't I'm
Mhm.
not I don't I'm not one of those women that was lucky enough. You know how like some women go ridiculously skinny from breastfeeding?
Yeah.
That's not my luck.
I don't think I did either. No. I've seen it, but then I've also seen when they've stopped or after a while they put it back on
Yeah. So
well.
that didn't that may be added to it. Like I definitely I get I'm sure breastfeeding increased my calorie burning, and I'm sure I lost another sort of amount because of that, because I can see the stomach slowly going down and down as I kept breastfeeding because it contracts your uterus. So I
Mhm.
definitely saw that, but it wasn't like something drastic like, oh wow, like breastfeeding made me skinny. I still had an incredibly huge amount of weight to lose, something like 15 to 18
Wow.
kilos, and I did it. And it was
Oof.
hard.
Yep.
And you know what? Not eating, just shutting your friggin' gob
It's
is the only
starvation.
thing that got it
That helps.
down.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I think with my pregnancy weight, I didn't have a lot.
You
I didn't
didn't
have
no,
a lot
Beck,
because
this is like
I think
insane
what
amount of
happened to me,
pounds.
I think because of moving and then COVID and then having to make some serious life decisions quickly with a baby, like all, the world just went crazy. And I think stress actually brought my
Oh, it's
weight back down.
the best weight
But
loss. It's the
I was,
best.
yeah, I was still a little bit like, still had some pounds on me at when he was 3 months, but I'd say by 4 months, I was down to what I was before him. But I've still
Stress.
got a tummy, so I'll be having to do something
Oh,
about
please.
no, but I still
Non-existent.
have
Only you can see, but
no,
okay.
but again, that's something that will have to, like, proper exercise and proper
Yeah,
eating
that's gonna take some, like, core
and
work, some core
totally, yeah,
core toning work.
that just doesn't disappear, and
No,
there's no
because
fat
that's
tummy
in
here.
turn that's like almost that's like your abdominal wall
Mhm.
inside that needs strengthening.
Yes, so, I mean, it wasn't yes, the weight went down, but, yeah, I'm still not all there or happy. Like you said, your body completely changes once you've had a baby or 2 or even more so. Um, yeah.
And we're pushing 40 and that metabolism now is just, like, very, very slow.
It is. You've got to do something. You don't have to, whether it be dieting, fasting, just eating clean, exercising. At this point in your life, at this age, around this age, you've got to do something. I feel like
Mhm.
everyone does, even those girls that were like stick thin, like in their 20s and whatever, are doing things now because they have to take care of themselves.
Yeah, inside too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna bring on a guest that's, we've had on the show before, who's doing intermittent fasting, and we're excited to ask him a few questions about what's going on. So we are here with our good friend Ali. You may remember him from our episode. It's Ali Baba. Ali, how are you?
Well, hello, hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hi.
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 So we've been, chatting about all kinds of diets and fasting and specifically intermittent fasting. And I remember that you are currently doing intermittent fasting.
I am, yes. I can't believe I've turned into this person that does intermittent fasting, but here we are.
Wow.
You are that
I
person.
am this
Well,
person now.
how did it tell us a little bit about how all of a sudden you are that person and if you've tried any other sort of fad diets and why it's working for you.
Wow, is it working?
Is it working?
Well, a friend that I know, he's been doing it for a while, and I tried it a couple of times, but it never stuck until one day. I don't know from what happened, but I bought an app, and because I spent money on the app, I started to do the
Oh,
intermittent fasting, and then it was kind of like. Basically I spend like $20 on this app, which is basically
Oh, wow.
essentially just a timer that just buzzes when it's time to eat. And
oh
I
wow.
thought I was going to get all this
Can't you just do that on your
well,
iPhone?
yes, we know this now. However, when I
Yeah, but the
purchased
psychology, I'm
this,
telling you, the psychology of him paying
Yeah.
it
Makes you want
has
to make
is
it
making
work.
him feel guilty to do this.
well, yeah, basically that's kind of what's happened. And I'm like, this is basically a timer. So I spend money on the timer, and I thought I was getting maybe there is more to this app. However, I don't think there is. I think it's just basically from like you set a time from whenever you're supposed to eat to whenever your fasting is, and it kind of tells you an hour beforehand that the fast is about to start, and it gives you an hour before it finishes that you got an hour left, and it kind of keeps giving you water drinking. Oh, that was loud.
Prompts.
Prompts. So that's kind of like what the app does. So anyway, so that's beside the point. So that's how I started doing this intermittent fasting. Now I do actually really like it. Minus the
Right.
fact that I feel like it's working for me in terms of controlling weight, losing weight, and kind of trying to get more in the healthier zone of things. I feel like it's taken out a lot of thinking about food, which is actually quite
Mm.
interesting. Which I never thought it would be something that I would do. But I don't get up in the morning and think, "What I'm going to have for breakfast," and then all that. So when it comes about, so I eat from 12:30 in the afternoon till about 8:30 at night, and
Mhm.
that
Mm.
so it's kind of helped me with terms of like after 8:30 I don't eat, and that's really helped with the snacking part. Not that I snack a lot, but
Yeah.
just the fact that you don't like this is it. I can't have nothing else but tea and water and stuff like
Can
that.
we ask you what you're eating in that window? Normal as you would
Yeah.
Normal as
normally?
I would normally.
So not like but healthy.
Yeah, yeah. I still, yeah, I still make everything. I eat the same things. I haven't changed that much, but because you're eating a less of a period of eating, I guess you're not eating as much. Even I'm not even that hungry ever. Like so,
That's
Mm.
from 12:30,
interesting.
I have a so I make myself a sandwich, or I have something a bit more fancy, or something even less fancy. I have oats and like some oats and yogurt for my breaking my fast, and I don't really eat anything else in between. Maybe sometimes I have a piece of fruit or a couple of nuts, and then by the time it was like, oh, it's 6:30 or something like that, I should think about dinner, and then I'll organize something to do with dinner, either get a takeaway or cook something, and by 8 o'clock I'm eating, and then that's it, done.
There's probably less
Wow.
calories. So you're basically allowed to have tea, coffee, and can you have juice like in
Not if you're fasting. No, you wouldn't have. Because I think the whole idea is that you're giving your body a
just
break
right, but
to
you
not
can
to
have tea
process
and water.
calories. Yeah, tea and water is fine because tea is
Okay.
just flavored water, and coffee you can have as well. I have black coffee, so I don't think that has any kind of a calorie
No.
thing, and I don't like milk anyway, so that works for
So
me.
you're doing the 16 to 8, 8/8 method because
I
there are
must be,
different.
yeah. I don't do
Yeah.
maths. That's why I bought the app. Um,
Which also
the
it
app
helps for
does
that
it for
too.
me.
The app does it for you because I would have thought it would have slowed down your metabolism, but I guess not for you
Well,
anyways.
no, because honestly,
No.
when I was eating it, my mom like I got a little bit like I got a cough now and I got a little bit sick, but it's nothing dramatic. But when it got it, like when my mom being a woke mother, she's like, "Oh, it must be because when you're not eating enough, you're fasting." I'm like, "Mom, I'm literally just not eating."
Oh yeah, that's what my parents would say for
But if you
sure.
think about it, I'm just not eating for 4 hours. I wake up at like 8. I'm sorry, like usually we have breakfast at what 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. So
Yeah.
I'm just not eating for 4 hours really, and then I start eating. So it's not
And
like I'm
how much
sitting
of
there starving myself for like days on end. So
no.
and then I
And how
stop
much
eating at 8:30 at night. It's like it's not like
and
I'm going mental here.
No.
no, it's not that huge a transition,
No,
but
it really isn't.
what kind of results have you seen? Like, how much weight have you lost?
Look, I've been exercising and then doing all that. So since I've started this, maybe about 4 kilos.
And for how
Okay.
long
Um,
have you been doing it for?
Probably about like maybe 6 weeks or something like that.
Okay, so it's like
It's
that's a
And
nice
steady. It's
steady.
not
instead, and like I haven't exercised for 2 weeks because of this cough thing, and it's gone down. My like if I'm weighing myself on the scale, it's gone down by a couple of kilos. But I don't know if it's because of intermittent fasting, which I think it would be because I'm not eating as much. So I guess if you
mm,
don't eat as much, and I'm just not hungry, like I don't have that cravings of hunger, which is
that's
weird.
Wow.
the fascinating part.
And you know what? If
Yes.
you want to have a bit of chocolate, you can have chocolate. You can have whatever in the middle of the day.
Have you had chocolate?
I had one like yeah, there was one day where I was kind of going like not because I think because I was feeling sick and all that, so I bought myself a block of chocolate and ate the whole thing. But that's beside the point here.
But it was still in that window of time
It
that you
was
can
still in
eat.
the time, and I
So
did
it's
share it,
okay.
and I did share it with some other people. They had maybe one or two bars, but I did
Okay.
have the whole thing. But like
Oh, wow.
you can basically. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I'm not an expert on this. I have no
Mm,
claim to it. However, for me, I feel like what's freed it for me is not thinking about food and really controlling not eating after a certain hour. Like from 8:30,
yeah.
it's kind of a very good way of controlling yourself and your cravings. Was like 8:30. That's it. If I haven't eaten, that's it. Like I can't sit here and have a banana now or an orange or like even like anything that's very simple. Like well, that's it. Close the shop for the day.
Windows closed.
Windows
You know,
closed.
I did I d
See you tomorrow.
I did this last month, but I didn't lose anything. Nothing.
Well, I don't think it works for a day.
I
You
think
might
you've
have
got to
to
do it
work
for
on it
like
for a
a
couple
couple
No,
of
of
I
days.
did
months
it
or
I did
something.
it consistently, like, during the month, but nothing
For how
happened.
long?
A few weeks?
Okay. It does sometimes does take time for it to show, and I don't know. Well, it works for me.
So, yeah, because do you think that that's the thing, like, we've been talking about just experimenting on yourself and
And
trying all there's all these different
to be honest, I've
diets
been very
and
good
foods.
on it for all this time. We did have a family getaway last weekend where I did break it, so I didn't do it because I don't want to be that person. Like, I'm not having breakfast.
Yeah,
It's like
no, you
8
can't. I
o'clock.
don't think you should.
No,
Right.
so I ate like what I like. I just went ate with everyone else. But however, beside that, it's been fine. Since like no problems.
That's
And
good.
your partner is like a personal trainer and,
Hmm.
yeah, and fitness expert. Like, what does Jamal say, like, about this type of thing? I mean, does he have an opinion on it as well? Like,
Not really. We don't really talk about the diet part of things, and he's not a best person when it comes to diet. Like, he eats whatever because he exercises so much. He's at the gym a lot more than I
right,
am because he's literally
calorie
there. Yeah, so
yeah,
he's got a lot of calorie
calorie
deficient.
burn,
Yeah,
so his intake can be quite high, right?
yeah. Well, I'm not at the gym 8 hours a day, so it's a bit of a different
Yeah.
story, and I'm not walking around that much. But
But it sounds like you've been eating a lot healthier on it. So, like, because you've got this window and you've paid this money, you kind of seem it sound like because you said, oh, you ate some nuts and then it's the breakfast and sound. I mean, the fasting. When you
yeah.
broke your fast, it sounded like you had something very healthy as well. So
And to be honest, like with eating, I'm generally I'm not a bad eater in terms of like I don't sit there and like have a lot of junk food. I'm not that kind of
No.
eater. I'm usually my downfalls are like fruits and stuff like that, which is not that bad in like if you get a packet of chips and eat it. But what I've noticed with this is it just does control the amount because you don't feel like it. It's just weird. You don't
mm,
actually
Oh,
I don't
interesting.
feel, and it might take a while. It wasn't like when you said like it took you like 3 weeks, you did it. It did take a bit longer for me to get to this space where I am now. It's not as easy because you kind of go, you wake up in the morning like, oh, I want to have something to eat now, and like, oh, I got to wait, and you look at the time like, oh, it's 11 o'clock. Oh, so
Yeah, I would be doing that.
it is like that for the first few weeks, but then when you get cut to the rhythm of it, and your body just gets used to it. You get up in the morning, you have your water,
right.
you have your coffee, you exercise, you go for a walk, you do your work, and but before you know it, it's like 12:30, and you can have
So you've
different
got to
and you can have
be
different time.
persistent.
Yeah, and you can
Yeah.
have your own different time. Like if it works for you
Yeah, you
to
can adjust the
from
time,
11
isn't that
o'clock
right?
till 7 o'clock, if that works for your schedule better, then do that. Like you don't have to go but the time that I do. But that works for me in terms of like, it keeps me like lunchtime so that I can catch up with people for lunch or even for dinner. I can have dinner with people at 7 o'clock, 7:30, and it doesn't ruin my anyone's plans. And if it sometimes goes to 9 o'clock, I don't think half an hour is going to make a difference. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So I kept it to that time because I feel like that works better for my lifestyle. But maybe some people like, get up at 6 in the morning, they do their exercise and when they start eating at 8 o'clock, but they're going to finish eating by 4, 5 o'clock or whatever. Again, I
Yes.
don't do math, so put it in the app, they will tell you.
well,
Right.
we've done we did a bit of research on it. There's a lot of health benefits internally as well, like lowering your insulin levels and sort of getting rid of those fat cells around the gut and stuff like that.
And to
So there
be
are
honest,
yeah.
like if you do, I haven't done much research on it, but just a little research that I've done, like I don't know where it's come in our culture or society that we have to eat 3 meals a day. Like I don't know
Yeah,
That's
where,
true.
right.
Some
where is
people
it?
have like 6 small meals or
Yeah,
2, like,
why do you
there's
have to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Why do you have to do this? So like it doesn't. I'm guessing if you go back to our ancestors, we wouldn't get up in the morning and have our oats and then go for a hunt. Like I don't think it was like that. So
You might actually just have a few berries and nuts. That's it.
that's
Like
it.
the
And then
whole
start,
day.
yeah,
Yeah.
and start the day, and then yeah. So I feel like we're not restricted to what we think what we should eat, and I don't
Mm,
know what the history of why having breakfast, lunch, and dinner is important, and but I feel like it does give your body a bit of a break to break because the food that we eat, especially the food that we eat now, it's all either
process.
highly
Yeah.
processed or it's not as natural as it can possibly be. So your
is
body does
yeah.
need a bit of time to break it down. So it does give you a bit of a break to digest the food and get it absorbed into your body. Look at me, I'm Dr. Ali. Hello,
I know, look
guys.
at you.
Dr. Ali.
Well, we wanted to well, obviously, we just wanted to have a chat with someone that's actually doing this,
Yeah.
not some, like, health and diet and fasting
Yeah.
someone that, it's just our
Practical. That's
a
doing it practically.
practical
Yeah.
exactly, speaking to someone that, may have tried things or doesn't usually do things and thought
Yeah,
they'd
I'm,
give
I'm
it
the
a
person
go.
trying to not doing things. So if I'm
Yeah,
doing something, I feel
it
like
it must be pretty
it's
good.
yeah, it's working for some of us. Yeah, I'm not a consistent person. However,
Do you
I
have
feel like
goal?
this is
Do you have
working.
some kind of goal on like
Not a, like yes and no. I'm not going to reveal my goal on this podcast because I feel
no.
like it's a bit.
No, I mean, like, you have some kind of weight, like a ch goal
That's
of
what I
weight a
mean.
weight
Yeah,
goal at
yeah. I
the
don't,
end
I
or
don't have a weight goal, but I want to be in a certain body form for maybe like February or March next year, and that is just a fantasy. But this is not why I'm doing it. It's because, getting to getting a bit older, and
Mm,
Mhm.
being in my late 30s now.
yeah.
Yes,
Mid
late
30s,
30s.
mid 30s now.
We
It gets harder to like maintain a
It
healthy
does.
balance. So if
Yeah.
I've got to kick in the butt now and kind of get into a kick in the butt, that's terrible English. Kick it in the butt now and try to kind of maintain it for a lifestyle, and that's what I'm trying to
Mm.
do. It's not a fad thing. I feel like if this works, it's an easy thing to do because all I have to do is just cook breakfast, really.
And do you think that you might not need in at the end, you might not even need the app, like, it will become second nature maybe?
I will not be purchasing this app for another
Yeah,
year.
no more
I can
$20
promise you that
timer
much.
apps.
I do not need to purchase an app for this. The
Oh, you
app was
must
a
be
good,
making a fortune
and you know
with this
what? I
app.
think the reason why I did the app, I guess, was because I never commit to something, and if I like purchase $20, it's not even like that much money, obviously. But
Yeah.
you're
No.
putting your money into it, and I'm going, you know what? I'm actually committing to something. Let me try it because it works for a lot of people, so it
It's
Yeah, it
true.
does, it
must
does.
work.
So
Should
what
I
do you reckon,
should I
Beck?
plug
Would you
the should
do
I
it?
plug the app?
I feel like
Yeah,
I'd
what's the
I right, think I don't I probably down the line will try it, not at the moment. I think I'm gonna cut out sugar at the moment, but I feel like down the line I will try it,
Mm,
possibly sooner than later.
But what do you want to do it for? Hello, you're like the skinniest person I've
I
ever met.
know, that's the thing.
I have
I
never.
just
I've known you for like what 38 years,
Yeah,
and,
honestly,
And
I
she was
think
doing the most
and you
extreme
have
I
things, and she was
know.
not
like a size 6,
and you
the
have
whole and she was
not
No.
changed at all. And having a baby, you still look exactly the same.
exactly the same.
I think, like I was saying earlier, that I think I wanna just probably even just eat cleaner, like, cut out sugar, just eat healthier. It's not really a weight thing, it's just, like, eating healthy, and so maybe I don't need to do the intermittent fasting, I just need to cut out, like, certain things that I was just saying, sometimes there's no time to eat or I'm on the go and I'm, like, grabbing really bad stuff sometimes.
Yeah,
I think what you
Um
need to do is just plan your food, and maybe you have to like get things planned.
Yeah, oh, yeah, because that helps, then I have it ready. Because
Yeah,
there's not yeah, when you
then
don't
you
have
that's
a
won't
lot
be.
of
definitely help meal planning is
meal planning's
amazing, yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
But
Yeah,
that's a lot harder than intermittent fasting. So go with the fasting. It's less planning.
well, maybe not quite. Well, everyone has parts of themselves that they're trying to eat, like body part they wanna lose or, like, tone up and stuff, so no one's perfect.
No.
True, true,
Um,
true.
but
Actually, I can tell you
yeah.
when I started fasting. Hold on. Oh, geez, it's been a while.
Yeah, when did
Well,
you
the app,
actually
the app
do
says it. I started on the 11th of July,
Oh,
so it's been a
wow.
and
while.
you didn't start dropping kgs till Au August or September? So or did you see
Well, again, it was more the feeling that I got was much. I wasn't. I'm not so much focusing on the kg things. It's just
okay.
like you can feel within yourself you're not heavy. There's a bit of break from the
Yes,
brain
yes.
in terms of the food thing as well. Because if you like food, which I do, like there's always
Mhm.
like what's for dinner, what's for lunch, what's for breakfast. Where this way, it just feels like I don't even think about it because it's like I just eat something, and then when I need to be more fancy, I organize something more fancy. Otherwise, I just have something small because I know I get
Mm.
full.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while. So
Yeah, it
surprisingly,
has
but
been
it's
a
not that
while.
much actually. Maybe like 8 weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, something like that. And I've been pretty much consistent on it. Yeah.
Well, this gives listeners a good insight to intermittent fasting, or if they're thinking of giving it a go.
Mm.
Yeah.
There you go. It's yeah, if
Yeah.
it's worth a
I
shot.
know this is the first time I actually opened the app to have a look at it. There's other things on this app. Maybe I should look at it more.
Maybe you
Um,
should look at the
Sure.
app, the $20 app.
yeah, it's called
Um,
Window apparently. So look it up.
Window, yeah, I've
Window.
heard of
I'll
that. I've
give them a
heard
bit
of
of a
that.
plug. Maybe they can sponsor your next episode. Thank you, Window.
Right. There you go. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
Window,
you,
and thank
Window.
you, Dr. Ali.
Just
Thank
put
you, Window. Thank you, Ali.
yeah
Thank you,
backslash
listeners.
yeah put backslash window backslash can we say a Dr. Ali code for your to
There
redeem
you go
your
for your
discount.
10% off. Well, thank you for jumping on and
Yes.
chatting with us, and we look forward to having you on. I'm sure down the line again, as we do, because we always have fun chatting with our Alibaba.
Yeah.
Thank you for that nickname.
And
Thank you.
we
Sorry.
look forward to hearing about your journey
Oh God,
further,
journey.
and we might try this too.
Yeah,
All
maybe
right.
we'll give it a go.
Oh my God, we have to post a before and after picture on your Instagram page.
Yeah. Oh, we can do that as well.
Yeah,
That's not it.
I'm very good at Photoshop. It's all good.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Well, thank you for listening. Thank you, Ali.
Pleasure.
And we will
Catch you next time.
Yeah, catch you next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Can we say it high? Can we say